everybody, and welcome back to Modern Monarchy. It's been a minute.
A couple.
Cassie, did you do anything fun while we were gone that you could share with the class?
I worked.
Wow. Fantastic.
I know. I'm just an adult, so adult. I don't know that I did anything as fun as you. I think, I've just been.
I guess I think you could call it fun. I'm exhausted. Okay, so if you're looking at the video right now and you've seen any of our videos before, my background is different because I moved, which is the main reason why we kind of disappeared for a while. It was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. Because I was leaving a studio apartment. I was like, this is what, a day of moving? No.
And you weren't even going that far.
I moved 2 buildings down. I am in the same apartment complex. But I have a bigger apartment now. But for some reason, there isn't as much built-in storage in this place. So I have had to purchase furniture in order to put my stuff away. Which means you purchase the furniture and then you have to take the time and energy to assemble the furniture. And then you have a lot of garbage. I have taken like 20 bags of garbage to the dumpster. And I put like 4 or 5 dolly loads of broken boxes to the recycling. Basically, the desk this computer is on, the chair I'm sitting in, the 2 bookshelves behind me are just like half the pieces of furniture I've had to build. So that's why all my stuff is just like on the shelf and not displayed like I would like it to be. So hopefully, I'm not going to say in the next video, but I will say hopefully soon this will look nice.
We're setting a goal. But also, I so understand because when we moved in here, this is like a 100-year-old farmhouse. And people didn't have stuff 100 years ago. So there's nowhere to put anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So we had to play that game too, where we're like, oh, we don't have closets or built-in shelving or cabinets.
And then you're frustrated that all of your stuff is still sitting in boxes and you're like, I can't put it anywhere.
Exactly. And then, like you said, you have to buy furniture to put your stuff on. But that comes in a box. So now you have all your moving boxes. Then you have the box all your furniture came in. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Styrofoam. Most of those bags of trash were just styrofoam. Crazy.
Yep.
Anyways,
it's insane.
All of the furniture that is necessary is here and assembled. And now I have time to like do little projects around the house so I can put things away nicely. And then after that, we can work on like decorating.
We'll get there.
I have so many things I want to do. I'm so excited.
Well, Yay for you. And yay for everybody else because we're back.
Yeah. Yay for you guys.
Anyways.
So this episode is going to be pretty loosey-goosey, pretty cash. Mostly we're going to catch up on the news. I don't know how much royal news has permeated Cassie's feed. So that's fun for me to find out because I like seeing what relatively normal Americans
nobody's ever called me that.
Relatively normal Americans are getting through their newsfeed because I listen and read about the royals literally every day for funsies. Sorry, guys. I am not going to be cutting out when Cassie glitches in a very scary way.
I was hoping that wouldn't happen. And then I saw it happen that time and I'm like, oh no. All I did too is I just like minimized my settings window and my computer was like.
So if she occasionally looks possessed, it is what it is.
That's what I did in our downtime is I got possessed.
Oh, that's exciting. I didn't think to do that.
You didn't have time.
So, unlike most of our other episodes, I didn't get to do a deep dive on anything. I did notice sometimes that my notes were getting a bit long on certain topics, and I was trying to just like reel it back in so that this episode is maybe less than 2 hours. So if we if we skip over any important stories from the last 2 months, tell us in the comments.
Yeah, get that engagement up, guys.
Maybe we'll talk about it in the next episode. Although, I don't know. Some of these stories I want to do a deep dive episode anyways, but then they'll be like old news by then because we're not going to record for another 2 weeks. I suppose I could look up information and not share it. But then why would I have a podcast?
I feel like that would harm you internally.
It really would.
I feel like you would look it up and then be like, but I have to tell somebody.
I do. It's the reason why we have this podcast. Like, I gotta talk about it. And when I watch TV, they don't listen to me. So I'm putting us on the TV.
Okay.
Hopefully I picked the important stuff. Let's go back to April. Most of this is going to be relatively chronological. It's kind of hard to do because there are many people in the royal family to try to like hit certain points on. And then also there are things that are like interesting that they happened in the order that they did, so they do need to be kind of chronological a bit. Basically, I was having a hard time in organizing this between should we go through like this is what happened with like this part of the family and this is what happened with this part of the family. But then there were like too many things that like intertwine between the groups that I was
right. Like, so you have to do it chronologically.
Right. So hopefully the order I put this in makes sense. What I'm getting
One
at.
way to find out.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go back to the beginning of April, where unfortunately we missed getting to talk about Cassie's favorite holiday. It's on a Thursday.
Oh, Monday!
Thursday.
I'm like, I know that day.
The one with the pouches.
That I have too many questions about that nobody knows the answer to.
Exactly. So obviously Maundy Thursday is part of Holy Week, which runs up to Easter on Sunday. One of the important things to note is that the Yorks, aka ex-Prince Andrew and his family, were not going to Easter church service.
I'm guessing because they were told not to.
Yeah.
Not because they were like, oh, sorry, we're busy.
So it's common practice for like any sort of family get together with the royal family that people actually like take into like pay attention to who's allowed to be there and who isn't. And you know, it's never assumed that maybe there was like they didn't want to go to that church. They have other family. Like sometimes the Waleses don't go to Easter with the monarch because Catherine also has a family. And
right.
They like hanging out with her family too. I don't think that's the case with the Yorks, but it is something to keep in mind sometimes. Like Sophie also wasn't there.
But I love Sophie.
I know. But that's because she was busy.
Ugh.
So,
Oh, how
the last
lovely.
thing I want to point out. The last thing I want to point out from Easter is this bag that Camilla is carrying. Because it's the same bag that they're going to talk about in the U.S. state visit that I had a problem with.
Oh, okay.
This bag right here is actually a Dior Toujours bag. It looks like that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that in mind. Just keep
Looks a
that in
little
mind. We're gonna come back
flimsy,
to
not
it.
gonna lie.
It does look a little flimsy, especially for a Dior bag, but I think
Right.
because we see Camilla wear a lot of Dior, and she has quite a few Dior bags. I think she might. I don't want to say she's getting gifts. We need to do a gift giving episode because that whole adage of royals can't get gifts is not entirely true. And on the royal website, there's a 7-page document on whether or not they can receive gifts from certain people at certain times and what they have to do with them. It's a whole thing. Also, around the beginning of April, we're going to talk a little bit about Prince Harry's court issues because at the beginning of April, so Harry had testified in court where I think it's the case that he's suing the Associated Newspapers. He told the court that there's a journalist named Charlotte Griffiths who, if you watch Royal Commentary or you read, I think she works on the Daily Mail, like the Mail on Sunday. She is around Harry's age, and a lot of her information, she always says, comes from the fact that she's kind of in the same circles as him. So she goes to the same social events. And Harry said that he had seen her at a party one time, and when he found out she was a reporter, he never talked to her again. Like she had his number and he blocked her. But he doesn't know her at all. That's not true. There, unfortunately, in the court documents, there's a whole slew of Facebook messages back and forth. Around
But I don't know who she is.
2012. Let me see if I can pull up the news article that I had with the quotes, because I would like Cassie to read these messages for a person
sure
he doesn't
did.
know.
Miss reading aloud.
I know.
Just don't make me read anything from Spare.
Well, if it's Harry's texts, that's also his writing. Actually, it's more his writing than the book was.
Among them is former Mail on Sunday deputy diary editor and now editor-at-large Charlotte Griffiths, who has recovered Facebook messages shared between the pair that appear to show they were close. Harry maintains he did not know she was a journalist, which she disputes. In relation to one party Harry missed, he wrote, "Just wish I could have been there, especially now that you're there." Meanwhile, Griffiths referred to him as Mr. Mischief and wrote in one message, "What a fun weekend of naughtiness. Can't wait till we get up to no good in the countryside every weekend. Damn it. Oh, smooches, CG string, XXX."
So she I don't know if she gave herself the nickname, but her
Right?
name is Charlotte Griffith, so she's CG string.
Okay. Griffiths wrote in her own witness statement, "We were all the same age and going to the same places in London at night, so we knew each other socially for a time. My friends, including the group that introduced me to Prince Harry, knew that I was a journalist and had gone to work for Katie Nicholl at the Mail on Sunday. Griffiths told the court Harry sent her his phone number over Facebook during a night in 2011 when he was hosting a party at the home of a mutual friend, Arthur Landon. At the time, she was deputy editor of the Mail on Sunday, working for Katie Nicholl, who was a diary editor. "It's H," Harry wrote in one message published by the Daily Telegraph. "In case you were confused by the name and picture, X." Griffiths replied, "Hello, Mr. Mischief. Did you get home okay? / did you actually find your car? And did you beat Arthur down the motorway, more importantly? What a fun weekend of naughtiness. Can't wait till we get up to no good in the countryside every weekend, damn it. Smooches. CG string. XXX." Harry said it was, without a doubt, the best of those weekends I've been to, and added, "What a crowd. Never laughed so much in 24 hours. Mr. Mischief? ? How do I get that title? I was surely no worse than anyone else." Serious withdrawal symptoms still, he continued, saying he had to make polite conversation with strange people at a dinner last night, begging them for money for charity. Really fun. Not. "Hope work isn't too dull wherever you are," Harry wrote. Oh my God, his punctuation is terrible. The next month, on January 22nd, 2012, Griffiths messaged Harry calling him H-bomb and writing, "We missed you so much at Arthur's last week. I wish I was there, sugar, but unfortunately stuck in Cornwall doing army stuff. Sad face emoji."
Sugar.
Right? Harry replied.
What if... Do you think when Megan was reading these, she saw some stuff that he says to her too?
I mean, I wondered that with the H thing. Like,
I
right
would
off
be
the bat, I
so
saw H.
irritated.
Duh. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, I would have been there playing and then drinking you under the table. Obvi. Why is he texting like a girl? Anyways. Just wish I could have been there, especially now that you're there. Do you ever work? Hope you're really well, Griff. Miss our movie snuggles. Ooh. I'm off comms all week in case you think I'm being rude. Keep me posted. XXX, XXX, XXX. The messages appear to have been sent after the end of Harry's relationship with Chelsea Davy and before his relationship with Cressida Bonus.
Okay. That's good enough. We just wanted to get
the fact that they clearly know each other.
Uh-huh.
And the flavor is sugar.
Oh, it's super sweet.
You know that girl. Come on.
Okay. So, I don't think he was lying in court. I just think he honestly doesn't remember.
Probably.
Because reading Spare, there's just like a lot of stuff that he doesn't remember and didn't take the time to just Google, because most of his life is Googleable. Like when you say you remember being somewhere, and then if you just went on Google and put in the date, you were in a different country.
Right.
You're not reliable. So that was a fun thing that I had to keep in because, come on, CG string. The funny thing is,
pray she didn't give herself that nickname, because that's bad.
Yeah. Although, like, early 2000s, early 20s me probably would have said something stupid like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
But the movie snuggles. How do you forget the movie snuggles?
Apparently, they were very drunk for a lot of this.
Well, apparently. So that one was funny, but the one that's not so funny, it's a little funny to me, but you remember he had a big problem with his charity in Africa called Sentabale, where Dr. Selfie Chandaka went on to do an interview and dragged his ass.
Yep. Hard to forget.
So the charity now is suing him and his friend Marco for a defamation case. Like, you've been lying about us and trying to take down the charity. You're trying to make it so that nobody wants to give us money because you're mad at us.
Mm-hmm.
So that hasn't, like, had any updates lately, but it is nice to know that he's being sued for being a dum-dum.
A thicky dum-dum.
I don't know how to tell Harry that he's entitled, but
Harry, if you're listening.
it's awkward when you see the similarities between him and his uncle Andrew, but you're like, obviously I don't think Harry's a monster, but you do have a lot of the same qualities of being like the second son, of not exactly paying attention to what's going on in reality because you're a prince and you're just a little bit entitled.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. Okay, let's talk about, since we're talking about Meghan and Harry, we should talk about their fun trip to Australia. The first thing I heard about this trip, did you hear anything about this trip to Australia?
I think I know that they went, but that's it.
Okay, so this trip is where these two have hit what I'm calling their final form. So you've seen over the years that like they've been doing these fake royal tours where they're doing everything a royal would do on a tour, but they're not representing anybody. They're just really weird celebrities who have like very, okay, they're entitled is what we're going for again. Like,
Yeah.
the royal tours aren't just like the royals going to another place going like, hey, I'm a prince. Like, no.
Right. You're not.
They're usually some sort of like diplomatic adventure where you're trying to work on relations between your countries. So everything about these fake royal tours is weird, except for to me, it's been seeming like they've been just skirting it on not doing half in, half out. Like, the commercial stuff seemed to be more with Meghan and As Ever, and for the most part, she's not using her Duchess title on the As Ever products. But, you know, I don't want to criticize people for their relation to the royal family and saying, like, that's the only reason you got X, Y, and Z, because that's always going to be true, and that's not something they can get rid of, you know? Mm-hmm. Just like the association. But physically putting your title on stuff that you're selling, that's different.
Right.
So the first thing that I heard about from this trip, because lately, I don't look Meghan up. Mostly because I don't have to, because I listen to royal commentary all the time. But also I don't know what she's doing unless somebody covers it. Because I'm not following her on anything. And I was trying to just kind of forget about them for the most part, because I'm like, they're just going to keep doing their stupid fake tours, and she's going to keep selling things nobody wants. And that's cool. Do that. And every now and then something comes up that I just like
can't ignore.
Get pissed about. Okay. This is like Paris Fashion Week, when I was like, whatever, she's at Paris Fashion Week, I don't care. And then I find out all these other things about Paris Fashion Week, and then she does that video of her zooming through Paris in the middle of the night with her feet up on the seat, and I just was like, can you stop being a horrible person for 5 seconds? Okay, no, she can't. So, first thing we heard about was this Her Best Life retreat which she did with some other people in Australia. But obviously, the main photo for this thing that was selling it is this one of Meghan with her freaking title right there, trying to sell you $3,000 tickets for a weekend retreat. Like, it's kind of sold as like, oh, you're gonna get to meet Meghan, it's so cool for the whole weekend. But no, it was just like a 2 hour speech thing, a 2 hour talk, and then she went, I think, and hung out with them for the dinner for 5 seconds. Basically, she was there for like 2 hours. There's a lot to say about this. I mean, number one, $3,000. Well, it's a lot of money. If you really, really, really wanted to hang out with Meghan and spend a whole weekend doing stuff, you could swing it. But for Meghan and Harry, this is nothing. This is no money at all. Like,
Right.
I think you guys are falling pretty far down. That this is what you're doing. You're literally selling yourself.
VIP tickets. VIP access to yourself.
Right. And like Harry's getting like, I think it's like 50 grand for him to do a speech at private events and whatnot. It's getting kind of sad. Anyways, so she used the title to sell some tickets. And at first I was like, well, I guess that's inching it even closer to mixing trying to be royal and trying to make money, which is not a good look, right? But it's almost not, because it's not, it's like, it's a separate commercial retreat thing. It's not like it's a royal-ish event and she's selling stuff. Does that make sense? Like,
it's purely selling.
It's just slightly not half in, half out.
Right.
In the worst way. Okay? So, we tried to ignore that. Some of the things they did when they were there were very royal coded. Like, Harry was at a war memorial laying a wreath, which is normally something you would do on behalf of the monarch. But he's not. And he's
also just a guy.
He has a history of wanting to lay wreaths at different war and veteran memorials in the UK, like paying for someone to bring a wreath on his behalf somewhere. And they've been like, no, you can't do that. Like, you were allowed to lay wreaths as part of the family representing the country and the monarchy, but you're not representing anyone.
Right, it's just
Get
you.
that through your head. Something else they did was go to the Royal Children's Hospital, which is obviously a royal children's hospital. And Kinsey Schofield, who's a royal journalist, commentator, fun lady, she did make a good point of they may have chosen the Royal Children's Hospital so that in the press for this, people would take pictures of Meghan and Harry in the hospital and then put it next to an old picture of like the Queen at this hospital, just to like strengthen the relation in the media. Makes sense to me. Not quite sure why they're doing that. I mean, there were some rumors that while they were at the hospital, they had brought a bunch of like cancer patients and patients who had like intravenous medicine with the little pole next to them, brought them into like the lobby to take pictures with Harry and Meghan instead of them going to visit the patients. Could be that's how it is. Maybe also the cancer patients wanted to get out of their room for 5 minutes. I I don't know why I'm giving benefit of the doubt. I don't know. Because
You're trying. You're trying to be fair and balanced in a situation where, let's be so for real, it's not very balanced.
they just keep proving how awful they are. Mostly Megan. I just feel like Harry's just dumb and doesn't understand why you can't make your money just going to charities and talking or taking
and showing
pictures
up.
with people. That's not a job. So one of the things they did do is they went to, do you remember the Bondi Beach massacre?
Yes.
Okay. So they went there to meet up with survivors and family members of said massacre. They went to the place where the massacre occurred. Okay? And Megan showed up in a lovely blue striped shirt, which some people thought looked like prison costumes from the Holocaust. But besides that, I don't know if you've noticed this picture of her with these people from the Bondi Beach massacre, where she's smiling and so happy, has pictures of the clothes that she's wearing.
Right?
That's
this is
because
not a fashion show.
she is, what's the words I want to use? She is an investor and advisor for a new-ish app called One Off, where it's like Pinterest and Instagram had a baby, and basically you can follow people that you like their style or celebrities specifically, and the AI will figure out what these people are wearing and tell you where you can buy it or where you can buy something that looks like that. And not all of the links are commissionable, but some of them are. So here's Megan. She is apparently the only person on the site that doesn't have to put a last name, which is interesting. I thought she was Sussex now.
Yeah. She did make it appear that way, didn't she?
Yeah. So she's an investor, which means she's getting paid like a piece of whatever the app makes. And if she's using links to make money like she has in the past, she's getting a portion of whatever you buy when you click on her link.
Right.
And she's making money two different ways off of clothes that she's wearing to visit a massacre site.
As just a celebrity, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. On her fake royal tour. So remember this picture that I showed you first, where she's all giggles and smiling, and right behind her, the actual people that they were seeing, when everybody lost their minds because she posted this while she was still there. Like, take this picture of me, post it on the site so we can start making money while I go hug some people.
Right.
So they did what they do quite frequently when people are enraged at stupid stuff that they do, and they just changed the picture so that there's nobody from the actual event in the background, and it could just be anywhere.
Right.
I am so tired of their PR bullcrap where they do this. They change words on a website that people didn't like, change the picture that people didn't like, and then pretend it never happened. And also, when people are calling them out for lying about, I don't know, crowd sizes or and whatnot, their PR team, it just always comes back with a nuh-uh. Like, I'm so tired of it. And it's usually in People magazine. But like, this is beyond selling your title. If anybody went to an event to support victims of a massacre and they at the same time sold their clothes online,
Yeah, it's not a good look.
it's disgusting. It's so gross. It is heartless. Can you imagine you are visiting these people, right? And at the same time, you know somebody is taking your picture so you can sell your clothes. Like,
Right.
in the back of your head, you know this is happening.
Imagine being so delusional.
This is what I mean when I say they've hit the final form. They have officially put the two together. I'm trying to do good for the world, and I'm also trying to make money. They need to be separate. This is
Right.
what the whole no half in, half out thing came from. You can't use the institution of the royal family to make money, and you can't just morally sell clothes while you're trying to do good.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Also on the same day, I don't have a picture of this, but there was an awkward moment for Harry where they were running around with these guys on the beach, and Harry thought he would be cheeky and funny, and he like slapped the guy's ass in front of him just as like a joke. And then the guy kind of turned around like, excuse me. And like, nobody really laughed about it.
Okay.
It reminded me of this one situation that Catherine and William were standing in a group of people. And while the picture was being taken, William said something like, "Who's pinching my bottom?" And then everybody laughed, ha 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 ha. And then somebody was like, "It's your wife." And he was like, "It was not my wife." Like, that's funny because you're saying something happened to you. Ha ha ha. So funny.
Right.
You can't touch people's bottoms.
Right.
Especially when you don't know them. It's just another thing I would like to put in the category of I don't think Harry has very good reads of social norms or cues or reading the room. I really feel like he was trying to do something like what William did, which is be a little cheeky, but it was a little too much.
Not good.
Those are like the main points that I wanted to hit for the Australia trip. Right after the Australia trip, Harry pops up in the Ukraine before heading back to the United States so that he can do a little speech where he tells Putin and Donald Trump that they need to help Ukraine. Like, they need to get this war over with and, like, basically trying to find some world peace. But, like, dude, you're talking to psychopaths who A, don't like you, and B, don't respect you. I don't know who you think you're talking to right now. Like, the rest of the world would love peace. I'm pretty sure even Trump would like peace because he doesn't want to pay for Ukraine anymore. But Putin's not listening to you. Anyways, he did that right before King Charles's state visit. So basically reprimanding Trump on the world stage like 3 days before his dad has to go hang out with him.
Got it.
I don't know what to do with him. I was like, somebody needs to take his batteries out. I don't know.
Send him on a $3,000 weekend retreat.
Send him on a what?
A $3,000 weekend retreat.
With Megan?
Yeah.
She'll hang out with him for 2 hours and leave.
Oh.
So I told you to watch King Charles's speech the day it happened. Did you watch it?
Oh, I did.
How do you feel?
I thought it was fabulous. I thought that was everything. Just the fact that it's like, like, all of that stuff went over everybody's head in that room.
And the ones that it didn't, they kind of like went along with the show of it all, of being like, okay,
Right.
we're all clapping now.
Right? Like,
Because
we
they're
get the
politicians and they're
subtext
liars.
here. Well, yeah.
I thought that while the UK was kind of hoping that this visit from the king would help relations between the two countries, I don't think that's what really happened, because Charles
No, of
just
course
likes
not.
the royal family. He does. He's fine with the people of the UK. He doesn't like the government of the UK, and he loves the royal family. And he's not going to ever confuse any of those things for the other one. So,
Oh, Trump. Or Charles.
Yeah. Trump.
Okay,
Trump
you
likes
said
the royal
Charles, so I was
family.
like, what?
Oh, sorry. No, Trump likes the royal family. I don't
Yes.
think he gives a crap about the people of the UK, but I don't think he hates them.
Trump doesn't give a fuck about the regular people? Come on.
I know, it's a hard pill to swallow.
I don't understand.
But he really, really dislikes the government. So that's the big problem. Anyways, I still think that this was needed. Mostly for American citizens who have been listening nonstop to these crazy politicians for the last 10 years, just completely gaslighting them and just saying the worst things ever. And it's just like,
Right?
everything is so bleak over here. So bleak. And it was refreshing and necessary to hear a rational, grown adult stand in front of that group of people and remind them in a very polite way, which was a masterpiece of a speech, because it was never condescending, but it was also, he never gave into or like goose stepped around any of the topics that he does not agree with Trump on, aka
Right.
most things in politics. And he kind of worded it all as like reminding everybody that we agree that it is good to have good relations with the European Union and NATO and the world at large, and world peace is a good thing, and America has these wonderful, beautiful natural resources and national parks, and we definitely want to take care of them. And the best part, obviously, being reminding everybody that in a democracy, the executive branch is checked and or balanced by the other branches of government. So when the Congress starts clapping on the checks and balances one, I got a little angry because I was like,
You're not doing any of those things.
you're not doing anything.
You're literally letting it happen. Like,
Yeah.
over and over again.
Yeah. So I don't remember which bit it was, but I distinctly remember I was building a dresser at the time, and I was just listening to the speech. And at one point, I don't remember what he said. He mentioned something, and I lifted my screwdriver in the air, and I said, "Hell yeah, brother!" And I was like, I don't know where that came from. Hell yeah, brother. I was very excited. And then I made Cassie listen to it. And then I watched Hassan Piker listen to it, who also was like, woke king?
And now he's not allowed to go there?
And now he's not allowed to go there. But I don't think King Charles has anything to do with that. It was also nice. I saw other Americans, like random Americans I've never watched on YouTube, listen to the speech and just be like, I don't even remember the last time a politician in this country said anything that resembled what this man just said. And I agree with all of it. Why is this so hard? When did the world get so crazy? And then after he spoke to Congress, there was the state dinner. And did you see the speech he did after dinner?
I think so. I think I watched 2 separate ones. Or maybe
Okay,
I saw like highlights or clips of it.
Probably did. They were both really good. I liked the Congress one more because the one at dinner was obviously a more like fun speech. It's more of a social event than speaking to Congress. But did you see the gift that the UK gave to Donald Trump?
Why am I thinking? Oh, yes. I did see this.
Okay, first of all, obviously, I don't want Trump to get gifts. But I have to say, that's a great gift.
I mean, the best part is like Trump doesn't know what anything means.
Oh, no. He just knows it's big and it's gold and it says Trump
and his
on
name's on it.
And that's all he wants from anything. And
basically.
But to be like, we have this random submarine from 1944. It was called HMS Trump. Would you like the original bell? That's crazy. It was such a great gift. I'm so impressed. Anyways, I was impressed.
I personally had just noted the year where I'm like, a World War II.
Actually, it's 2 years before Donald Trump's birth. So the bell's just slightly older than him.
And in way better condition.
Okay, let's just we'll go back to Camilla's bag real quick, because this is the same bag, correct?
It
From
appears
Easter.
to be.
Okay, this bag and this bag are the same bag, and
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay.
They look like this.
Yes.
And I told you in a text because I was irritated that the Daily Mail, and I think Hello Magazine still has their article up online, but on Palace Confidential, which is run by the Daily Mail people, they also said it out loud that they said Camilla had brought a Lady Dior bag, which looks like that. Not the same bag.
That's a very different bag.
Not the same bag.
Right.
How does that get printed? This bag is one of the most easily well-known bags in luxury fashion. Like they have it.
I believe you.
They've had it out for a long time. It's a very classic shape. They have it in all different materials. There's like, this is the Lady Dior. And then they have a whole nother section of Lady Delights, which are like the fabric-y, embroidered version of the same bag. So yeah, it irritates only me. But I just would like it on record that while Camilla does have at least 2 Lady Dior bags, which I find weird because they're named after Lady Diana, this is not the bag. This is not the bag. This is not when you bring that article out.
This is not the bag.
It's just such an obvious mistake. I think the other thing that was irritating me was trying to find a picture from the trip to the US with her in the bag. There's only two I could find. The one I just showed you where she's walking in her blue dress coat, and then this video they did on the way to the US where she has a little stuffed animal critter in her bag here.
Which also, again, quite clearly, not the same bag.
So not only is it a very obvious mistake, but there's not even... This was half a second in a video, and that other picture took me forever to find. Like, why would you take the time to point it out?
Right, if you're wrong.
Why am I so mad about this?
Well, in your defense, you also really like purses.
Yes.
So there's also, like, it's also very, like, a niche thing for you where it's, like, an extra. It's like how I feel about, like, horses in certain movies where I'm like, that's not right. That's not this. Ooh, honestly, they switch out horses in movies a lot and it drives me crazy because I'm like, that's not the same horse.
Ooh.
It happens a lot.
Ooh. That would bother me if I noticed.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is, like, you are a purse person. So you're like, oh, that's fucked up.
I just think if you're in a internationally published media outlet that is extremely popular, you might want to look at another picture of that bag before you say what it is.
Or just don't say it at all.
It's like they just heard one person say it and they were like, oh, gonna run with that because you said Diana. Moving on.
We have more to say, but we're moving on.
Anyways, so they did other things when they were in the US. One of them, I'm just going to explain the video that I saw that I thought was adorable. He went to a place called Harlem Grown, and it's just like an initiative that is helping young people learn about urban farming in, obviously, Harlem. So he's hanging out, like, feeding animals and, like, hanging out with kids that are doing drawings and planting things and whatnot. And he goes from, like, one table where these kids are doing something with, like, mangoes. They were, like, making food. And then he goes over to the next table and he tells this kid, he's like, so over there, they're doing the thing with the mangoes and you guys are doing something with this. Are you going to put it together afterwards? And the kid goes, I don't know, I just got here.
Step back.
And he was like, me too.
I don't know.
I just got here. I also like Charles's just, so did I.
I love a sassy kid.
Me too. I hope that kid gets to see that video when he grows up someday. I'm like, you gave a lot of sass to a literal king.
But that's the best because like they don't know, right? Like they're just like, oh, is this an adult? And you're asking a dumb question.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite things that they did is Charles went to Shenandoah National Park. And here on the table, there's a stone from the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is where Shenandoah National Park is. And there's a stone from Balmoral in the, let me make sure I don't say this one, Cairngorms National Park in Scotland. Because Charles did some research. Maybe not Charles specifically, but there's evidence that the two mountain ranges, the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Cairngorm Mountains in Scotland, a long time ago used to be the same mountain range before they split up.
Okay.
So now that somebody has discovered that and wanted to make a cool thing about it, they're now sister parks.
Ooh, fun.
And I hope some really cool stuff comes from that, because that sounds interesting to me. Also, I got to meet a bald eagle.
The way that he looks at that eagle.
The way he looks like a bald eagle himself.
I always
Like,
this
are
is
you
like
frozen?
related. This is related. Well, I'm like, it's related but not related. You know the like Muppet eagle?
Yeah, Sam.
That's how I picture our Uncle Lee.
Yes. Mhm. I can see that.
Anyways, if you guys knew him, you'd see it too.
If only you knew our random family member.
He looks like a Muppet, but a very niche Muppet.
And then I just had to throw in one last picture from him going outside. Is this one.
I do
So
love that
carefree.
he loves the outside.
He loves it. He's so happy.
He's just a little outdoor boy.
It's like, that looks like a picture I would take. Just like, ah.
I'm so hippie in the mountains.
I'm so happy. And then after he left us, he went to Bermuda for a little visit before he went home. I don't have a picture of Bermuda.
That sounds like a 5-year-old's like recap of vacation.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was saying at the beginning of this episode, where I was like, there's some stuff where I'm just going to be like, and then this happened. Because if I went any deeper, we'd be here forever. Also, in April, it was Queen Elizabeth's 100th birthday, which is fun and nice and also sad because she's not here. But some of the things that they did for her birthday is they opened up a exhibit at the King's Gallery in Buckingham Palace called Her Life and Style. And it is the largest exhibit of Queen Elizabeth's clothing throughout history that's ever existed, ever happened. And
Ooh.
the cool thing about this exhibit is that it was only supposed to go until September. But because they sold out of all the tickets and they sold them out quickly, they extended it out another 6 months, which means yours truly has tickets.
Ooh, good for you.
King Charles gave a message to his darling mama. Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, opened up the Queen Elizabeth II garden. I know Sophie went to a meeting with the artists that are creating a memorial sculpture for the Queen, and people are kind of on the fence about whether or not it looks good. I'm just gonna
I don't think I saw it.
I'm gonna wait till it's actually a sculpture and not like a minifig, and then show you, because I feel like maybe it's not gonna look exactly like the example.
Got it. I did not
'cause-
see the example.
Especially because they revealed the example, and I feel like a lot of people had an opinion, so they might they might zhuzh it up a bit.
Right.
All that to say, the day before Queen Elizabeth's 100th birthday, Queen Elizabeth, whose family pet name was Lilibet, the day before, I'm so irritated with this woman. Like, our friend Megan released her Mother's Day collection, which is 2 new candles that cost $64 and may or may not have a wick in it when you get the thing. They're okay, so she named the first candle that she put out 519. That was the date of her wedding with Harry. So she released a 506 and a 604, which are Lily and Archie's birthdays. So candles that remind you of her children, which is weird. I don't know why you want strangers to have a Lily candle. Anyways, besides the strangeness, if you'll notice in this advertisement, they are literally monetizing their titles. Prince and Princess, Archie and Lilibet, and we're also doing this the day before Queen Elizabeth's birthday, so we can maybe pull from the whole Lilibet Elizabeth connection. Basically use the Queen's birthday to make you more money.
And get a box of chocolates.
I don't even want it. The funny thing about the chocolates, Megan sent some to Serena Williams, who's her bestie, and Serena posted a little video of her trying them on her Instagram stories, and I don't think Serena meant to slight her, but she immediately starts the video with, Megan sent me these things. It's very nice. I don't like chocolate.
My friend doesn't know anything about me.
I don't like chocolate. Tell me you don't know anything about your friend. Like, I would know if somebody didn't like chocolate. Come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
How do you have a friendship with somebody and you never encounter chocolate together?
Right?
Those.
God
they made me giggle. I need a giggle every now and then because she's literally selling her children.
As candles.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while we're talking about children, there's been a lot of anniversaries and birthdays. 2 birthdays were Princess Charlotte. I don't know about you, but as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, holy crap, she's growing up. Like, she doesn't look like a little kid too much anymore. She's kind of turning into a preteen.
An adult.
Yeah, and then little tiny Prince Louis, he's starting to look more like a big boy. And then there were 2 other birthdays, which was Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet's birthdays, and the pictures we get are the back of their heads. This is Archie's birthday picture, by the way. Like, we don't even get him by himself. Like, he has to share his birthday with his sister. Lily's birthday, where there were multiple pictures, and of course she gets her own picture on her own. But yeah, Tom Sykes is another royal journalist. He has a whole brand of the Royalist on Substack and on YouTube. He works for the Daily Beast. He made an excellent point where I just told you, like, when you look at freaking Charlotte over here, like I said, the first thing is just like, damn, she's growing up. When I see these 2, I see them every week. Like, for someone who wants to not serve her children up on a silver platter, I am not shocked by this picture. This is the same picture I've seen 300 times this year. Like, the other kids, we get a nice picture of their face on their birthdays. And then we see them at a few family events throughout the year. And other than that, they're left alone. Like, you really didn't have to worry about your kids in the UK.
Right.
And I feel like they're in more danger actually over here, not only because of school shootings, But also, the paparazzi are not beholden to any sort of rules that the British press is. Even
Right.
if the British press is annoying.
Hale has feelings about that. She's like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So sorry.
know.
Well, another kiddo moment is Princess Eugenie, Andrew's second daughter, is pregnant with her third kid. Number one, we found it interesting that the announcement came from the royal family website, not Eugenie's personal Instagram, which means King Charles is still trying to say that those girls are part of their family. Like, I know Andrew has a lot of problems, and their mother, who nobody can seem to find, also a monster. But the two daughters, we're still going to put our arms around them, even though as more and more information comes out, they're seeming less and less innocent. I'm not saying that they were trafficking children, but they seem to have no problem taking money from some really shady people. So this is a interesting announcement because everybody's like, okay, would you like us to be happy about this for you and like forget what's going on with your family? Because
We haven't.
we haven't forgotten. It's not going away anytime soon. In fact, you should probably go away for a little while.
Right.
There's more news that's been coming out lately where people have discovered that the princesses weren't paying rent for their palace apartments, and everybody seems shocked by this, which I'm confused about. I'm like, did we assume that the royal family was all paying rent at all the places they live on these Crown Estate lodgings? Updates for Andrew is he's supposedly being actually investigated now.
We'll see.
Reportedly, there was a break-in at the property he's staying at on Sandringham Estate. It was a masked man who, while Andrew was walking the dogs outside, this masked man showed up and yelled at him.
No.
I mean, first of all, is it a break-in if it was outside?
I was going to say, and it's really only a break-in if, like, something's taken or destroyed.
I can understand if it's in the house. For some reason, if somebody comes onto your property, though, that's trespassing.
Right, but it's not a break-in.
I wouldn't call it a break-in. And then also, Andrew's come out recently with a massive bruise on his face. And there's questions of maybe he's got like dementia now and he fell and doesn't know what happened, or
somebody punched him in the face finally.
I am more of the mind of like something happened by accident and he was like, take me outside in the car. I need people to feel bad for me. I don't.
He always has terrible car photos too.
He does, like his Nosferatu one when he was
oh my god
being
in the back
arrested.
seat.
Yeah. That's all I want to talk about with Andrew. I've been really putting off doing the episodes about the entire York family because I don't want to read it. Just don't.
That's so fair. The lack of accountability is really frustrating.
From who?
From everybody.
Yeah.
Literally everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody is holding him accountable for his actions whatsoever, other than like, ooh, he stripped him of his titles, finally. But like, nobody in the Epstein files has been held accountable at all.
Well, the thing of it is Charles took away any sort of like patronages and any honors that he had. Yeah, he's not a knight of anything anymore. But technically, he can't take away the Duke of York title. He can just tell Andrew to not use it.
Right.
But the prince title, apparently, he could take away. That one really got me because I was like, I think I said this before. I was like, that's like taking away Mr. for him. Like, that's a mind fuck.
Right.
If we go to something nice and happy, but I unfortunately cannot deep dive into because we don't have time. The Princess of Wales went to...
Saw a baby.
She saw a baby, and the baby was so happy. That's an Italian baby.
Let's call him Gino.
Yes. I don't know. It looks like a girl.
Gina.
She went to Reggio Emilia in northern Italy, which is actually in the area of Emilia Romagna, which is where the Italian part of my family is from. How fun.
Ooh.
If things had been different, I could have been there. She went there to mostly see what's going on in the education scene because, you know, she's big on the early years education and well-being of children. And apparently in the Reggio Emilia area, they have a very well respected form of early life learning. A lot of learning through play and fun stuff like that. A little bit
Very
Montessori.
Montessori.
Yeah. Wish I could tell you more. Didn't have time. Would you like another lovely picture? We can do that. There's another lovely picture. So,
I mean, it's Catherine.
of course.
Of course it's lovely.
So, yes. Of course, because the royal family did something, now we have to follow it up with something Meghan did immediately after or the same time. I think it was right afterwards. So Meghan goes to Geneva to work with this project where there's a big display of screens that look like cell phones with a lock screen on, and the pictures of the kids on each one of those phones has passed away because of some sort of problem with the internet, whether it's bullying or who knows what. The internet is a scary place.
That's why we're on it.
Yeah. My
That
ear
was
just
good comedic timing.
my ear just threw that out.
Rejected it completely.
So there weren't a lot of people that showed up. There was like 30 people there, so people were comparing it to Catherine, where like they closed down the streets in the city of Reggio Emilia because everybody wanted to see her. To be honest, if I lived in northern Italy and the Princess of Wales wanted to come see us, I'd be there. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What even brought you here? So she goes to do her fun little speech, and by fun I mean not fun, very serious. But she goes to give her speech looking very serious, with her serious hair and her serious jacket. But the problem that people are having is that while she was packing to go to Geneva, she had to stop first and put a picture of herself with her child on the internet. Seems like a weird thing to do before you go talk about how we should protect children from the internet.
Right? A choice.
Yeah. There's also a theory that I've heard Kinsey Schofield say, or like she's heard apparently from people in government, in security, or I don't know. Kinsey has a theory that this could also be more dangerous for the children, that Megan keeps drip feeding images of them but refuses to show their faces. So there's probably some creepy people on the internet who really want to know what those kids look like. And who knows, maybe they'll stalk them to figure it out. Maybe they'll use AI to make who knows what kind of pictures. Like, stop. She's just like, stop taunting people with your children. Like, pictures or no pictures.
Right. Commit.
This whole, yeah. And by this time, we've seen every angle of her face. We know what she looks like.
Right.
She's also your child. Like, she looks something like you and Harry. Next, we're going to talk about, we'll give a little moment for our Prince of Wales, Prince William, who is here on Heart Radio, on one of the Isles of Scilly, which is a silly name for a place. I'm sure nobody's
hysterical.
ever said that before. There was lots of niceties in this conversation, and he talked about how much he loves Catherine and how impressed he is with her, and how when she went to Italy, she spoke Italian, and he didn't know that she could speak that much Italian. That's pretty cool. But then they went into a topic that is divisive. Cassie, have you had a scone or a scone with clotted cream and jam?
No.
If you were to have a scone with clotted cream and jam, would you put jam first and then cream on top, or cream and then jam on top?
I'm going to go cream and then jam.
Me too!
Because that just feels correct in terms of like viscosity.
And the density, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going like biscuit and then cream and then jam.
There's some crazy people out there that do jam first. I heard one person try to explain it as it helps the clotted cream stick to the biscuit.
No, that would make it like slide right off.
Doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, so
also color wise, this is gonna sound really stupid, but for me, my silly little brain's like, I need the gradient of the color. It looks weird the other way.
It does. I also like if you use like a big old plop of cream and then you put a little pool for the jam to go into.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
okay.
almost like an elevated thumbprint cookie.
Yeah. With lots of cream. So jam first is known as the Cornish way, done in Cornwall. The cream first is what they do in Devon. It's the Devon way. The Devony? I don't know what the adjective is for Devons, but there's Cornish and then there's Devon. Ish. Ish. So they asked William which one he prefers, and he knows this is a scary question because there's a lot of contention between which way is the right way. It's kind of like, I think there's another argument in British culture on whether you should put the tea first in the cup or the milk, which I don't know why you would start with milk.
I was going to say, like, the main drink is the tea. You put the tea in first. What? Why is that even up for debate?
I don't know. I didn't know you should put jam first because that sounds stupid. Like,
Idiots.
if you just handed me the 3 ingredients, naturally I would go the Devon way. Anyways, they asked William. And William is the Duke of Cornwall, which means he should be eating it the Cornish way because he likes to make sense. He does it the Devon knee, the other way.
The right way.
But he didn't want to say that out loud. So he kind of like, here's what he did. He said, he's like, my grandmother was always right about most things. So I do what my grandmother did and I put the cream on first. So basically, he's like, what are you going to say, that Queen Elizabeth is wrong?
Right. Use like, grandma as a shield.
Wasn't my decision.
And what are you going to say? The woman's dead. You're going to dishonor her name and her legacy?
My grandmother? To my face?
The queen? Oh my God. That's funny. That's like PR training 101. It's so funny too, like to compare him to his brother in that way too, where it's like one it's clearly
one
adept.
One sees his father face to face for the first time in like 19 months and then immediately gets interviewed by somebody and says something stupid like, we don't know how long he has left. I think Harry meant like with all scary events like that, you go, oh my God, life is short.
Right.
But the way he says it makes it sound like Charles going to drop dead in 5 minutes.
He's dying.
And William doesn't slap other people's bums.
He only jokes about people pinching his.
And everybody finds that funny.
And he doesn't talk about his frozen dick in a book.
Not yet.
Somehow I think that'll never happen.
Somehow.
Going back to the level of intelligence in which these two men operate on a daily basis.
So I thought I would give also a little more serious update for William. As the Duke of Cornwall, he obviously takes care of the Duchy of Cornwall, which is massive and I think is worth $1 billion. And a lot of that is thanks to his father, who was the Duke of Cornwall for like 50 something years, and he really worked to make the duchy really profitable for not just him, but for the community itself. And William has been doing some changes. I think it was like a year or so ago that people were complaining that, okay, so when you have property on the duchy, you kind of have to pay rent to the duchy. So people pointed out that places for like emergency services and volunteer charities and whatnot were also paying rent to the duchy, and that's kind of messed up because it's his own, technically it's his own personal money, what comes out of the duchy. So he nipped that in the bud and was like, emergency services, volunteer companies, charities don't pay rent on the duchy. And now he has decided that he's going to, over the next few years, sell 20% of the land from the duchy. And it's going to raise somewhere like around $500 million that he can put towards the community via housing, renewable energy projects, and different environmental projects. So that's really going to help his whole Homewards program.
Right, like vision. Yeah.
The one that's trying to stop or end homelessness, which is a lofty goal, my friend. But at least he's doing what he can. Like
Right? It's something.
selling off property so that you could build housing for people. It's pretty dope. People still mention the fact, though, that they have like multiple homes and that they could maybe not have multiple homes and they could put homeless
Donate
people
one?
in the royal manors and whatnot. And I was like, well, that's an interesting idea. I think part of the reason they have homes in different part of the country is, you know, because they move around a lot for their job. And
Right?
I don't know. I don't have a problem with them having multiple homes. But then again, I'm not a British citizen, so my opinion doesn't matter.
Fair.
We also missed the official opening of Parliament, which last year I was like, the next time we do an opening of Parliament, I'm doing a whole episode on it because I love it. It's so fun. No, we missed it. Next time.
Next year.
And then the last thing, this past weekend, we had a royal wedding. This is Peter Phillips. It's Anne's son and Queen Elizabeth's oldest grandson. And this is his second wedding. And if you recall, all of Anne's family is on or around Gatcombe Park Estate, including this wedding. It is a 15-minute drive away from Gatcombe Park. And I believe that the reception is happening at the party barn. They said it's happening back closer to home, but they have a party barn. Where else would you party?
And it looked like a nice spot. So, like, why wouldn't you use it?
Exactly. So that's lovely. We had another event, though, where people were talking about who went and who didn't go. Beatrice and Eugenie did go, which kind of surprised a lot of us. But it really seemed to be kind of like a PR exercise because there's some pictures of them like arriving and meeting family and kissing cheeks while also noting where the camera is. So, it took a page out of Megan's book. You don't look at the camera, guys.
Right. Kind of gives it away.
So yeah, we're all pretty convinced that Charles doesn't want a negative opinion of the girls. Which, by the way, everybody hates when you call them the girls because they are grown women. Eugenie was actually born the same year as me, but to be honest, as a girl, when I hang out with my friends, I hang out with the girls. So, they're girls. I think I saw it once in comparison to how, like, Epstein's victims are referred to as young women when they're underaged. And I can see that being a problem because those are girls. And underage women is not a thing.
Right. Because they're not women. If they are underage, they are inherently not women.
I, however, don't think it's the same thing as calling Eugenie and Beatrice girls.
I don't think so either. The context is very different.
Yeah. Anyways.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it, though. I freaking hate these, like, untailored baggy pants.
No.
Somebody had to say it.
So...
It looks like he worked a night shift in a restaurant. Like, they look like chef pants.
They do look like chef pants.
And then he threw on a sport coat. Like, he worked his shift.
I believe that's a morning jacket. I think. I'm not an expert on men's fashion. Give me a handbag.
How dare you insult the Lady Dior like that?
There's something about the Lady Dior. I like it as like the design. Like I like Dior's general design because it's always very classic, very like 1950s Hepburn nice clothes. But also it's kind of boring. And because the Lady Dior is so popular, it's everywhere. And I just feel like it loses its value when it's everywhere.
Right.
That's all I have for the news for the last couple of months. Did you happen to hear something that I didn't? Because that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. No, I don't think so. But I can't wait for somebody to be like, you missed this silly thing. Or nobody will say anything.
Okay. So, we've run out of news. Obviously, we didn't cover everything. So, again, if you have something you would like us to cover later, we can do that. Something we covered, but you want more details and you want me to go in a rabbit hole, more than welcome to. Tell me.
Give her... The second you say go, she's gone.
Give me a book report to do. We will be next week with a slightly older video about tiaras where you'll see my old apartment in the background. Please forgive. And then after that, we will come back and we'll have a couple of fresh episodes. Very excited. So
thanks for having us.
Week. Thanks for having us. Like the video or the podcast wherever you're listening to it. And, you know, if you feel like sharing it, you could share it. I won't be offended.
We might even welcome it.
I might high five you. Yeah, we'll be back. So have a great day.
See you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye. Was I that delayed?
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong.
As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation.
I commit myself to serve you all, King, country, and Commonwealth. God save the King.